Howdy folks, we've got a 5900 E series valve here from Clean Water Stores, and today what we're going to do is replace the Brine Cam. This is for either a softener application or a green sand filter application or a chlorine with a side tank application. So the first thing you're going to do is remove the two screws in the back. It's a 1/4 inch nut driver. They're little black screws. There's going to be a few more that you're going to remove. What I always do when I get them both off is I use the back cover plate as my drawer to hold all my loose screws. Once I get that off, put those screws in there too. This part is going to end up sticking out through here when we're done. Okay, so the next thing I got to do is get the rest of the top of the head off so I can get to it. And there's the next three that you're going to undo are going to remove the front cover plate. There's one on the left, one on the right, then one on the lower right. Once you get those three screws off, as I've almost got them off now, then you will be able to start pulling the cover plate off. To completely remove it, you're going to fish the 9-volt battery lead back through here, and then there's going to be one wire that you're going to take off on the circuit board. Basically, you're going to look on the circuit board, and where you have wires, you're going to disconnect them so you can pull it off. And then you'll have the wires, and you have to look back where they're going to go to, so keep track of that as far as it goes. On the piston motor one is all the way over here. If you have a flow meter, it's over here, and then the power cord goes over here. These two on the far left are what you're going to put these two back in. One's from the motor and one's from the power cord, so it's not too complicated, and it says power cord and motor on there if you look carefully enough. So the next thing you're going to do is, some valves will have screws right there, most of them don't. If there's screws there, they'll probably look like these, and you'll pull them out with a 1/4 inch driver. There's 4 of them where there could be. Usually they're not there though, and what there is that's holding this front plate on is a tab there and a tab there and a third tab down here, and so you'll wiggle them both back and forth on the bottom and the top until the front plate comes off. When the front plate comes off, you're going to have your main gear, and your main gear may be white or black as far as that goes. And then you're going to put this is the Brine Cam, and you're going to put the Brine Cam back in its hole right there. The Brine Cam lines up. There's a missing tooth. I'm going to put the missing tooth at the 9 o'clock position. There's a missing tooth right there, and there's the corresponding fat tooth on the inner wheel, not the big outer wheel, but the inner wheel, and there's right now, that's where the fat tooth is. So as far as it goes, you need to orient it so that when you push it back on, the fat tooth is going to line up with the gap right there. So once you get that lined up and you carefully push it back in, then and perhaps it kind of goes to say it's easier to do it this way. So there, if I get a close enough picture, that right there is the gears meshing right there where that gap is. So you'll put them in like this and then hold all that, and then you'll push it back forward. When you're pushing it back through, it has to line up. The gear stem has to line up through there, so you kind of have to look at two things at once. It's not that hard to do. Just push carefully and don't push anything too hard so you don't break any of the plastic tines, the 3 tines that are what are holding the whole thing on. But once you get it all back in, you hook all your wires back up to this, and you screw the front cover plate on, the back cover plate on, and that's it. You're done. Thanks, folks.